So I'm back in the kitchen again. And one of the things that I did when I realized that our son couldn't breathe petrochemicals is I started thinking about, how did my grandmother and great-grandmother clean? How did they use different products? What did they do before people started manufacturing all of these products for us? And I remembered how she would spray down the linens with a linen spray that wasn't manufactured. So I started doing some research on it and discovered how easy it is to make your own linen spray or just air spray, and it's lovely and cheap and easy to do. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that with my fresh lavender that I grew myself. Again, no pesticides, no fertilizer, purified or distilled water, and the secret ingredient is vodka. So it is 1.5 tablespoons of vodka per 1 cup of water. So you don't use very much of it, and that's why it's very cheap. So what I do is, well, actually we're going to put the water in first because I'm not sure how much this jar holds. So that's about 1 cup. All right, so 1.5 cups in there. And then I take the fresh lavender. Well, let's first do the vodka. So if it's 1.5 cups, then it's 1 3/4 tablespoon of vodka. So I hope that's right. Don't ask my mom. She knows my math is terrible. So I'm guesstimating. It's not a super science. Then I'm going to put the top on it, give it a shake, blend it up a little bit. And then I take this fresh lavender, and we need to make it fit in there, so I need scissors. And we're going to just stuff this all in that water. And you can use all the cut off pieces too, because lavender, the branches, the leaves, it all gives that lovely odor. And it sure is pretty. And it makes great gifts too. So anyway, you stuff it all in there. You want to make sure it's all underneath the water, under the surface there. So I'm going to clip off some more here and stuff some more in there. You want it to be pretty full of plant. Like that. All right, all in there, and then get the top on there. And give it another shake. And this, you want to sit in a dark, dry place for 2 weeks. Shake it once in a while. Make sure it's still got enough water in there. You don't want the tops sticking out because the air will absorb some molds and stuff like that. The vodka distills it and keeps it safe. And then once that's sat for a few weeks like that, you strain the leaves out of it, put it in a spray bottle, and you've got a great linen spray. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do with the lavender is body oil. You can use many kinds of different oils for that. I'm using plain kitchen olive oil because it's cheaper, for one thing. For another, it has a longer shelf life than other oils. Like, I love sweet almond oil. I love jojoba oil. However, they don't have as long of a shelf life. And I would normally add some vitamin E to this as well. I just didn't bring it over here with me. So we're going to clip off all of these dried flowers. So the dried flowers is because you don't want moisture in this oil. So if it's fresh flowers, they have some liquid in them. So, and again, these make really great gifts. and they're inexpensive. What costs you is the glass jar. Honestly, that's the most expensive part. And so a lot of times when I do lotions or oils or any kind of sprays, I give them away. I ask, can you bring the bottle back when you're done? Because then I can make more. So I normally plant lavender for a couple of reasons. First reason is they smell good. Second reason, they're easy to grow. Third reason is for the bees. I'd like to try to help save the bees. And the fourth reason is scorpions hate them. And we are trying very hard to let all the scorpions know our house is not for them. So every year I add more lavender around the edges of the house. What I have learned here, they grow well here because of our dry climate. They like the dry climate. They like well-drained soil. And out in the East Mountains where I used to live, it's much higher in elevation, and they grew fine out in the sun. But here in Albuquerque, we're a couple thousand feet lower, and the heat is much more intense. And what I've discovered is that the lavender I planted out in the sun just burned up. So I've had to adjust where I plant my lavender. I make sure that it gets some shade every day. And that just all depends on where you live. You know, if you live in the East, then I recommend buying English lavender because it's formatted more so for humid areas, and then you want to make sure it really is out in the sun there because you have atmosphere cover and it needs direct sunlight there. So that's what I've learned about lavender. Anyway, we've got it almost stuffed full. I'll probably add a little bit more later, but I don't want to take up any more of your time. And we've got a lovely jar of this lavender oil, and that you sit in the windowsill in the sun for, you know what, I'll have to look it up, but I think about 2 weeks. Shake it every other day and just let it cook in the sun that way. And again, the oil preserves that. Unlike this one you use the fresh leaves because you're going to use this to eat, and you keep it in the dark area, not in the sun. This one you want it to cook in that oil, and doing it in the sun is the perfect way because it's a gentle heating of it. And then when you're done with it, you can strain the leaves and flowers out of it and use it, but I just prefer to have the flowers in it. I think it's really pretty. You can transfer it to a fancy little bottle you can get at Hobby Lobby or something like that, and there you have it. So that's our projects for today. Next time, what I'll share with you for my natural products that I do, I'll show you how I make my cleaning spray, and then I'll also someday show you how I make my laundry detergent. Have a great day out there, guys. Thanks.